Business Showcase. We have an exciting guest with us, Julianne Weber, and she's representing a photography studio. And I'd like to welcome you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. Now, I understand that some things are really exciting, right, at the studio. How long has your studio been in business?
I'm actually very excited to announce that we're going on our 10-year anniversary this upcoming weekend, where we're actually holding our second open house. So if you're in the area, please swing by. It's actually reservations only, but make a call in advance, and you're more than welcome to join.
Fantastic. Now, how big is your location?
We actually have 4 studio locations, one of which is big enough to fit 3 automotive vehicles in. The second one is big enough to fit about, 10 to 15 people. And we have 2 other smaller studios, which one is natural lighting, the other one is it's a miniature size of the second largest studio, which is Studio 2B.
Now, what is your relationship to the photography studio? What do you actually do?
I'm the marketing director at Studio 95 Photographics. I'm kind of a jack of all trades there. I do a little bit of everything from graphic design to set setup to recruiting models, recruiting volunteers, etc. like that. We actually also run a volunteer program where you're more than welcome to volunteer your time to get in return for that studio time as well as photography time with our head photographer, Greg, which is at the studio.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
How's that going, that program?
That's been going very well. We actually have a model. Her name is Mandy Creates on Instagram, social platforms. You can find her there. She's actually blowing up. She's really enjoying what she's doing. She's learning a lot at the studio, and she's putting in great work. We wouldn't have been able to open our brand new studio without her. We actually just opened up 2 brand new studios, which I had mentioned, the one with that can fit the automotive vehicles as well as the natural lighting studio. So that's been great, and opportunities are open up for both of us now.
And is that also open for photographers too, to volunteer their time? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. We actually had a videographer come in a couple weeks back who had been working for some studio time. It really wasn't in his budget, but we had some work that we needed done, and by all means, business is business, so
Fantastic.
It was great helping each other out.
Well, that's good to know. I'm sure a lot of photographers and videographers could use that service.
Most definitely. Now, it's very select. It's not open to everybody, but it is by application, etc. So it is available.
Excellent. Now, are there many photographers at the studio? Who's the photographer?
We do have 2 photographers. We have Greg, but we also have his wife, Cara Lee. Now, Greg is the in-house photographer. He does a lot of portrait work, product photography, etc. Cara more or less works with wedding photography, event photography, babies, families, stuff like that.
Okay. Now, do you guys actually develop, or actually you don't need to develop now, but do you do your own editing? All right.
We do. For all of our projects, we do all of our editing, all of our research, etc., all of our own. So.
Okay, good. I know a lot of photographers out there, they use Lightroom and Photoshop. You guys similar?
Yes, we use a little bit of everything. So we use quite a bit of a few different programs ourselves.
Now, I know with photography, there's various facets to it. What services do you provide?
At the studio, we provide rental services. That's our biggest thing. Like I said previously, we offer 4 rental studio locations, which are located in Milford, Connecticut, and Research Drive, if you're familiar with that area. Secondly, we offer photography services with either Greg or Cara Lee. Third, we offer videography services, again, with Gregory. He's been in the business for over 40 years. He's won an Emmy Award. He's an extremely talented gentleman. On top of that, we also offer equipment rental. So if you don't have a camera, you don't have a video camera, you don't have backdrops, you don't have lights, etc., we have everything you need at the studio. So it's basically a matter of not do you have it, it's where can we find it.
And I do photography also, and so I've been able to use his services there a few times. It's been very helpful. The lighting, all right, the backgrounds that he has there.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, I'm sure when you've worked at the studio, Greg's worked with you one-on-one, hands-on. He showed you a little bit to, I guess, not to preserve your knowledge, to extend your knowledge in the photography world, correct?
Exactly.
So.
Plus, he also helped me with the lens, getting that thing taken care of, too.
Absolutely, yeah. He's really great. He's got a lot of connections.
Exactly. Now, the other thing that, we're talking about the services that you provide, but what makes it a full service photography studio?
As a full-service photography studio, we pride in the fact that we offer literally everything that you can look for. We offer backdrops, we offer sets. Anything that you can create in your mind, we would love to happen in front of you. So we have a little bit of everything. We love to look out for different props, etc. And we're very hands-on. Like I had mentioned, we had just talked about how Greg had helped you one-on-one himself. So Greg, if you make a booking at Studio 95, regardless if you're renting, regardless if you're a photographer, model, you're shooting with Greg or not, he's going to tend to be there. And he won't be down your back at all, but he's going to be there in assurance that you are going to get the shoot that you wanted. You're going to get the quality photo that you're looking for and or video that you're shooting for. Your vision is going to come to life at Studio 95, and we take pride in that.
And that's excellent. He's been very helpful, all right, on various occasions.
Most definitely.
Now, for our viewers out there, especially the ones that are in photography, do they need to bring their own background?
No. Again, we do equipment rental, so backgrounds are actually $20. They start at $20 and they go up. And we have hundreds of backgrounds. We have all different types of seasons, sheets, etc., everything you can think of.
Now, this is a good question because what happened was my wife and I, we did a shoot. It was a 70s shoot several years ago, and about maybe 4 or 5. And we got back home at 3 o'clock in the morning, all right? And so now we're unloading the vehicle, and my wife says, you picked a great time to get involved in this business at this age. So things get heavier as things go on. So do you guys have an elevator, or is there an elevator needed?
No, actually, we're handicap accessible, so you can just roll right into our building. All exits, entrances are all ground level, which is great.
Excellent. Now also, what I found about photography is that you really get into people's lives when you're doing these shoots and family things, events, and various events. How do you guys make it personal?
When getting personal in the photography studio, we really like to capture the moments where you're laughing with your kids. It's natural, not really posed. If you bring your kids in, for example, or even your pets, stuff like that, we like to get their reactions, not exactly, we don't want them to pose in like a school portrait, because those are very basic. So we like to capture what's going on in their minds at that very second. If we put a toy in their hands, their face is going to light up, and that's going to be the perfect shot right then and there. So, and when it comes to couples and engagement shoots, etc., we really like to hear about your story and where you're coming from, what these photos could be for, and how much they're going to mean to you, so that way we can get the shots that you're looking for.
Excellent. I'm sure they appreciate that too, don't they?
Most definitely. And honestly, we've had people that have started as models, and now they come back for their maternity shoots, they've come back for engagement shoots, etc. So we're a lifelong facility, basically.
So you're providing repeat business.
Exactly. We always have people coming back to us.
Excellent. Excellent. And that means a lot. That means a lot. Now, as far as the photographer himself that comes to your location, is there a particular level that he needs to be at, he or she?
Nope. Photographers of all levels are welcome. Beginner, professional, no matter what you are. We're always open, especially to beginners, so that way we can teach you something new. You're going to be at the perfect place to learn. So, and at Studio 95, our saying is, there's no such thing as stupid questions.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Now, how often are you open?
We're actually open 7 days a week, 9 to 6 p.m.
Okay. Anything happening, anything up and coming?
This April, we actually have a photography session coming up with Greg, where it's not actually a photography session as much as it is a photography workshop, where you'll be learning the basic lighting packages throughout the Studio 95 locations, where you'll actually get access to both Site B, which is our new annex site, as we'd like to refer it to, as well as our original location, which are right around the corner from each other in Milford. So if you would like more information about that, please check out our website at www.studio95photo.com.
Now, you mentioned that you're on the marketing side and a few other things. You're a jack of all trades in those areas. What has been exciting to you in this part of the business for you?
I mean, honestly, every day there's something new that's pretty exciting when I'm working with Greg. So I always have something going on. I always have an event that I'm planning. I always have somebody coming in, models coming in, photographers coming in that I'd work with on a personal level. I like to promote other photographers as well as models when they come in, so that way they give back to us as well. And we basically promote for each other. And that's really great, because that's been getting the word out about not just the studio and what we offer, but what others have learned from working at Studio 95. They should express that with other clients or potential clients, which is great.
Now, I went to an event where I saw you at. It was at the Oakdale Theater. It was a Raw event.
Yes.
I was there for the purpose of shooting one of the models that we're promoting, and also the designers that were there. Why were you there?
I was personally there so that way I could be scouting out for models as well as scouting for photographers so that way they could check out our space. At the time, we had just opened up our brand new spaces with the automotive vehicles as well as the natural lighting, so that was huge. And we actually had quite a bit of feedback, so I'm very excited. The Raw Artist, I'd actually participated up in Boston as a model myself, so that's something I do for hobby. It's something I do on the side. It's nothing that I plan to pursue, but of course, if it happens to fall in my lap, that's definitely something that I would move forward with. But the Raw Artist program is incredible. They're nationwide, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're really big. I've met a handfuls of incredibly talented people, so I'm very thankful for that experience. And I'm sure even at the one in Connecticut, you know exactly what I mean.
Exactly.
It was an amazing networking opportunity.
Matter of fact, I met a person from Pennsylvania
Yeah.
that was there, the person that was actually hosting the event on stage.
Yeah, people actually come from all over. I was amazed. When I had called, when I was up in Boston, I had told them, it was a week before, okay, well, I'll be at your event next week in Connecticut. Are you guys going to be down there? And she had told me, oh no, our reps, we have a couple hundred reps, and they all go different places, et cetera. I was very amazed to see what a large organization it really was.
Yes.
My eyes were like, wow. So it was very exciting for me to see that creatives like myself have such a safe space to go and get together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, also, you guys did an open house recently.
We did.
For your event. Matter of fact, I took pictures of you in that red vehicle at that particular time.
Yes, we had a friend of mine, Jax, we had his 34 Ford Coupe. He had actually built that from scratch, so
Really?
yeah, that was very, very cool to shoot with. It was probably one of my favorite photo shoots in a very long time. I'm a sucker for hot rods and old vehicles, so it was very fun. And we had an immaculate turnout. So many photographers, let alone we had models that were begging to come shoot on set. So, of course, ladies, your event is coming. Just wait.
Now, talking about that, do you guys go to outside events like some of the older cars that I see sometimes on Route 1? Have you ever done any of that type of thing?
I personally have not, and as the studio, we won't be going out to the events. I know exactly what you're talking about, like a car show.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we won't be going out to the events, but we will be having events come to us, which is more exciting. So.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Now, from what you've been doing, what has been the most exciting part of your responsibilities in your studio?
I think the most exciting part about working at Studio 95 and my responsibility and my position there is probably the ability to be able to learn everything hands-on. So growing up, I'd gone to an elementary school as well as high school where it was all hands-on. I went to a charter school. And after transferring from a charter school to a public school, I had seen what a difference my learning had, my education had really changed in the way that I was learning things. So it's exciting that every single day I'm doing something hands-on, and like I said, there's no stupid questions in Studio 95. So I have the ability to reach for the stars. Greg's really given me the opportunity to, learn a little bit of everything. I do a little bit of web design, graphic design, and all that stuff. I'm a marketing, business administration major, so that wasn't really in my plans. So.
And one of the things that we do, especially on our show, is we like to talk about books, all right, particularly books for businesses to take a look at and help them to grow their business in various ways. One such book that is one of my favorites is Think and Grow Rich, and you can tell that this has been used a little bit. In fact, when I first read this book was back when I was 28 years old, and at that particular time, the information that's in here just went over my head. I wasn't knowledgeable about some of these things, even though when you read it, it's very easy to read and things of that nature. But as time went on, I got to understand better what it was really referring to. A lot of people, when they look at the title, they look at the words down here, which is rich. But in order to get that, you have to think, all right? And you have to develop. talks about the mastermind program, and you guys got that going on with you and Greg, putting that whole business together, all right, in that area, along with a few other people that you're working with too. But is there any particular book that you like or that you've read that might be able to help our listeners out there? Anything that comes to mind?
I'm actually reading a book right now, and it's called Finding Your Happy. Now, this is the new edition. I'm blanking on who it's by. It's actually in my bag right there.
Okay.
So something about me, fun fact, you'll never find me traveling without a book, and which is kind of strange because growing up I was not a fan of reading. I had something that's grown on me, and poetry is kind of my key. That's my little niche. I'm really a big fan of that. But this book is really more about opening your mind and connecting with the sources around you, as opposed, like you had just mentioned, thinking and growing. You need to be able to say you're a flower. You're not going to bloom without any sunlight. You're not going to bloom without taking care of yourself.
Yes.
So it's a necessity. Self-care is so important when it comes to the business world, let alone life. It's a key of life to succeeding. Taking care of yourself, just taking a little bit of time out of your day, meditating, something like that. Yoga, going to the gym, reading, like I said, a little bit, something just for yourself, a little bit a day can go such a long way. It really can.
Which is part of personal development.
Absolutely.
Right? You know, a lot of people think, unfortunately, when they graduate high school, that's it. Actually, that's the beginning.
It seriously is just the start. My niece is getting ready to start high school in the fall, and I keep telling her, I was like, you just saw, I was just in high school 6 years ago.
Goes by just like that, doesn't it?
It was so fast, and she just really, I'm nervous for her because now she's going to grow before my eyes.
Yes. Well, you can guide her, right? This is great.
I can guide her the best I can.
One of the things that we did with our grandchildren is we got my wife would always give them books to read, and they carry books around with them now, and because of that, they are actually honor students in their schools. One's in the Stratford school system, and the other one is at Platt Tech, which he's getting ready to graduate this year. So we're happy about that. So just adding those various nuggets, all right, with them, even if they're starting with something small, they'll graduate and get something bigger as time goes on.
Seriously. That's awesome.
Because I'm sure that's what's happened with you. Right? Once you started reading books, it just got better and better all the time.
Yeah, no, honestly, my knowledge has only grown actually since I left high school. That's when it all really started for me. I started going to college. I've kept going through with that. I've kept reading tons of books. I've kept learning more and more, and I mean, I'm hungry to learn more. So.
Yes. Matter of fact, one of the places that we suggest people to get their books at is, first of all, the library. Right. So we're suggesting that you businesses out there need to have a library card, whereas there's only 3% of the population that has a library card, and it's free. All right, that you can actually get that information that's right at your fingertips, so to speak. Another place that's in the area that we can go to actually get books, and that's twice a year, and that's Pequot Library. During the winter, they have a book sale, but their biggest book sale is in July, and that's a 3-day book sale. People from around the world, all right, come there. I think they have over 250,000 people that come to this place at Pequot Library in Fairfield to actually get books, and you can get them for like as little as $2 or $3. Right? Books that normally cost about $20, $30, sometimes $40, you get for $2 or $3. Right?
You can't beat that.
Exactly. And then on the, I believe it's the last day, all right, it's like $5 a bag for how many books you put in a bag, right? That they want to make sure that people out there have that resource. Plus, there's also books on tape that you can get there. There's CDs. They have also albums, all right, meaning that sound albums, all right, which a lot of people vinyl as far as that's concerned. So a lot of people are collectors and looking for some of those items that are out there for them too. So it's very popular, and it's free to get in, all right, and take a look. But they have when they first started off on Friday morning, they have a cannon that actually goes off to start off the weekend, all right, for that event. But I think you will enjoy that, all right, out there, and especially you people out there in TV world. that'll be a great opportunity for you. It's a great resource, all
Absolutely.
right, for the people to actually take advantage of.
Sounds it. I'll be sure to check that out.
Excellent, excellent. So, with photography, it's like a language, all right? It's something that invites people. What I've noticed is, especially in the past 5 or 6 years, I've been shooting since I was like 9 years old when I got my first camera that my parents gave me. But of course, it's developed, all right, back actually in the 70s, that's when it started developing. And I put it down, and then 5, 6 years ago, I got my first digital camera, because before that I was using film. And I was introduced to the fashion world. And actually, when I got my first camera, which was a Canon T3i, all right, and after 5 years, I thought I might have put up like 80,000 shots. It was 160,000 shots in that 5-year period of time.
Wow.
And then I upgraded to a full format camera, right, with Canon, their 5D Mark III. All right, matter of fact, I got that from Greg.
I was going to say.
At that particular time. So it's matter of fact, I suggest you guys out there to actually take a look at photography as a hobby, and because it will grow into other things. Matter of fact, when I first started 5, 6 years ago, when I got the camera, one of the things I thought about was actually taking an art class, because it's more than just taking a picture of that subject. There's so many more things that go around.
It is. Photography essentially is painting with lighting.
Yes.
And a lot of people either neglect to accept that and or neglect to learn that. So that's why you'll see a lot of photos out there that aren't exactly up to par.
Yes, they're still in the learning process.
They're still in the learning process. So, I mean, Studio 95 is a great place to come and learn. We're always open, like I said. We love having beginners come because this is the perfect place to start.
And what is your phone number there where they can contact you at?
You can contact me at 857-880-9169. And through that number, you can book any reservation, any rental, and you are more than welcome to ask any questions.
And your address?
And our address in Milford, we actually have 2 different addresses. So for the first location, it is 158 Research Drive in Milford, Connecticut, as well as 225 Research Drive. Again, they're right around the corner from each other.
Excellent. Well, it's been wonderful to have you on, Julianne.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I'm excited about photography. I'm excited about your guys' studio that you have opened up recently, because I was there when the cars were there, and it was good to see that. So it's growing. It's growth.
Absolutely. No, this has been a great experience, and thank you so much for having me, and thank you all for listening. I mean, this has been great, and hopefully we get to see you guys come down soon.
Indeed. All right. So once again, all right, to our viewers out there in Score TV land, thank you for taking the opportunity to be with us today. And once again, don't forget to read. Thank you.